It's time to feel what you've been bottling up. Life in rural America isn't easy. The long hours, the constant pressures, the demands of the land, livestock, and family, it all takes a toll. We're tough and we've got grit, but somewhere along the way, toughness started meaning bottling up emotions and powering through. But here's the truth. That strategy, it's not working and it's poisoning us. Maybe you've noticed and maybe you haven't, but the numbers don't lie. We're breaking down and it's showing up in our bodies, our relationships, and in the rising suicide rates in agriculture. You don't have to carry any of it alone. There's another way. If you're ready to stop being weighed down and start moving forward, my one-on-one good movement guidance is now open. Visit the link in the show notes to learn more and see if one-on-one guidance could be for you.
I'll carry you, you carry me, we'll help each other through it. Come on and say good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. This week, we have everyone's favorite guest, Tom, back with us. And we're going to be talking about something that I have gotten questions about quite a bit in the recent past. And that is how to get other people to do the personal growth inner work. So, how do you get other people to do the work?
Like spouses, other people, or employees? I guess I got the preface like 5 seconds ago, so not a lot of time to think in there.
Well, all of the above. Like, I think it's the same answer across the board, isn't it? You can't make people do the inner work. Like, there's no way to be like, hey, do this work.
Well, I don't know if that's true. Like, you put on deals for ranches and didn't think you'd get a lot of feedback, and there's been some pretty good stuff come from that, a lot of growth.
Yeah, okay, so I see your point. Those guys it might not have been their idea to have me come in, but they were open-minded about it. But that still wasn't making someone do the work. Like, they had to do that. They had to be receptive and do it on their own. If you present it to someone, then you have to not get attached to the results, right? You can't be upset if you're like, hey, here's this really cool tool that can help expedite self-awareness and improve your communication and all the things. And then if they're not interested in doing the work, you can't be attached to the results. So what I mean is, like, you can say that to someone, and if they take a hold of it and do something with it, great. If they don't, you can't be upset about it or frustrated about it.
Right.
But like, when I started doing the inner work and growing in my self-awareness, like, I was
flying solo.
I was flying solo. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say, I was like trying to shove it down your throat.
Yes.
And make you do it with me, but you weren't ready yet.
Not at all.
And so
I've always been pretty slow.
But you came around, and how that transpired, which we've talked about in previous episodes, well, in a previous episode, was that I continued to do the work, and I continued to use what I was learning in our relationship. And then you ultimately listen to the Type It Out podcast with Cass and I. But what I was doing was imitating or showing you how it could be. And then you came on board on your own and started doing your own work. It wasn't like I continued to try to force you into it because you asked me to stop.
Right.
So I did.
Well, you just told me you stopped, but.
Well, I stopped blatantly using it. I was still like,
Enneagram says this. Enneagram says that. You just did it and then tell me.
Yeah, but I wasn't blatantly like using it. You didn't know. It was incognito.
Yeah, there you go. Behind my back.
It was subtle. But the moral of the story is you can't tell anyone anything unless they have an open mind. But you can show people. And if you can show them, they're going to come along and be on board a lot easier than if you tell them and continue to tell them and tell them and tell them and tell them.
Right. But how do you, like, I live with it. So it's kind of not really get on board, but people that don't practice every day, you know, like the changing point for me was like, you just get tired of being mad. So as a one, like you wake up, you're mad, like everything's a half wreck. That's what motivates you to get up and keep doing better. But eventually things wear out and you just get tired of being pissed off all the time. So you got to either go pay for therapy or you find something else. And this has been my else, I guess.
You're something else.
I am that. I'm a diamond in the rough.
I also am coming to believe that there's equilibration in relationships. And so the more you can do your own work and the more you can grow and heal, the more the people in your relationships will come up to your level or closer to your level. The trick is not to slide back down and equilibrate the other way.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to say. There's a lot of mental health in what we do. A lot of it. A lot of worry, a lot of stress. And what you talk about in these deals gives you a way to handle that, kind of gives you an out. But like you said, you got to be willing to do the work. And it's not easy to talk about. I mean, it's not something that guys in our field discuss. I mean, I've never had a conversation with somebody about mental health. Do I need to? Yeah, there's a couple guys I'd really like to talk to, but that's a tough conversation to start and a very difficult conversation to have.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't necessarily have to blatantly or pointedly say anything. If you're doing your own work, by default, people are going to take notice. People learn through imitation more than they learn by being told. So I'm of the opinion that if you do your own work, that's the best way to get other people to do their work. And I will say, when you start doing your own work and you start healing and you start setting healthy boundaries and you start stepping out of your own defaults, people that benefited from your defaults may not like it at first. Like, for example, when I say no sometimes, or I am a little more firm than what you're used to, you don't always appreciate it.
I feel like there's never mind.
Inappropriate, Mitch.
Well, I am a dude. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. When you start to change, not always is it well perceived or well received by peers.
I'll say, though, that the work that you've done has been well received by me.
Well, that's the one that counts to me. I mean, I don't see myself lasting, 40, 50 years with the ranch, but hopefully I make 40 years between you and I. I mean, that'd be a lofty goal.
We're halfway there.
Don't say things like that. Let's people know how old you are.
I don't care.
You're a mountain cougar.
I'm coming up on 40. But another important point here is that you can start doing this work anytime. Like, you're never too old to start. And when you do this work, if you're, say, like our age and you have kids, it, one, improves your relationship with your kids, and two, it shows them a better way. So it's kind of breaking generational cycles.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely. I'm pretty firm in my ways of doing things, and I have the right to remain silent, but I lack the ability most often. And this has helped me do that, especially with our son, because he's more free spirited than I care for. And it's not wrong. He's not misbehaving or being disrespectful. He just does things that
he does them different from you.
Yeah, and that drives me nuts, but it's just his way and it's not wrong. And the end result is hopefully similar to how I would do it. It might take him longer, but he's still not very old, you know? Daughter's the same way. And I feel like if anything, you know, like I've taken the pressure off him and put it on the girls, and I'm trying to work on that. Like that's my next big task.
Yeah. Yesterday, was it yesterday?
It was Tag's birthday.
No, it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before yesterday. I was really proud of you because you came in and you were like, oh my gosh, I got so much done today. I did this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And before you started doing any of this work, you would have been like, I didn't get this done and I didn't get that done and I didn't get this done. You were putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yeah. And like I said before, a lot of that comes with age too.
Maturity for sure. But you're also aware of your hardwiring and your default to.
Right. There's a lot of things that go undone, whether that's mental or physical. I can't really say. I hate to say I'm slowing down, but am I slowing down because of.
Are you slowing down, or are you listening to your body and you're more aware of what is reasonable to get done in a day? Because having worked with you for almost, 19 years, I can tell you that I think you're listening to your body and you're aware of what's reasonable to get done in a day.
Well, dang sure hurts. I'll tell you that. Those are key reminders. Dang sure.
But also you are way more willing to just chillax and have a little fun too.
Oh yeah. Like the kids are getting to the age now where they're so damn fun. I want to be around them all the time as long as they're getting along. You know, I want to come home when the bus gets off, when they get off the bus, you know, and that's 4:00, 4:30. And when you start early, that's time to be done. I mean, it's time to go do stuff that they want to be interested in, whether that's kick the ball around or go ride colts or rope the dummy or dig for buried treasure. It don't matter.
Well, and to be honest, our kids are pretty interested in things that could be considered work.
Well, and who was it that said make work your play and you'll never work a day in your life?
No,
Sounds
that's
like
not
Mark Twain.
That's not the quote. Is it love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life? I don't know what the
do
quote
something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, it's something like that.
I don't know how you change people's mindset. Something in your brain that changes you. Like my situation, you just get tired of being pissed off, tired of sore fingers and fists. And I mean, we still got punching bags and jump ropes and weights and shit laying around, but now we use them because we want to, not because I'm pissed off and ready to throw down. Not that I'm a fighter, it's just something to get your aggression out.
Yeah, it's like no different than when you're angry, slam a pillow on the ground. Like those exercises. You were just using exercise to release anger. Yeah,
you're aware of it. You just don't know where to go or what to do to fix it. Like I was aware of it for a long time. Long time. But I don't know how you or where you go. Like people in our profession, they don't know where to go to get that. And therapy is a swear word.
It shouldn't be.
But it is.
And that's where it's really important for those of us who recognize the importance to continue to do our work and take that stigma away.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all anymore. Like the thought of talking to a therapist doesn't scare me one bit now that I don't feel like I maybe need one.
Everybody needs one.
Yeah. Like talking to the barber, you got a problem, you talk to the barber. Pretty soon the whole town knows. No more problem. I don't know. You got to be willing to adjust, and that's just change and adjust are big words here.
Like I said, it's important for those of us who are willing and doing it to continue to do so, to show the younger generation and show, the people who may be having a hard time with doing their own inner work. Going back to your awareness, you said you've been aware for a long time that you were angry, but you weren't necessarily aware of what was motivating that anger. So when you were saying you don't know where to, like you were aware of it, but you don't know what to do with it, the tool of the Enneagram kind of shined a light on the why behind the anger. Like your motivation is perfection and your default emotion as a type 1 is anger, which means you convert every other emotion to anger. But you internalize it, so it's like a pressure cooker. And then when the bead pops, look out.
Gets steamy. Pretty steamy.
But you haven't had that happen in a long time that I know about.
I don't know if I can remember the last time. I wasn't real impressed when the dumpster tried to accost me, but still got the scars on my face, but you're standing there dumbstruck bleeding and your eyes won't see straight. It's hard to know which dumpster to kick.
I think you converted that to humor.
I didn't feel humorous.
No, but you did a good job with that.
But like people around in our area or even in our profession, a lot of times help is 60 miles away. It's not really the financial part of it. It's getting there and admitting that shit, I got a problem, man. Like I need to get a handle on it. And whether it's my personality or not, there's other personalities there that are the exact opposite of me in my situation. There's people that get walked on and that's not right either, and they need help too. Well, maybe talking to a therapist or somebody in town I don't know. I've never experienced that because I don't understand that, but I can only speak from my experiences and my findings. And
well, I think, yes, it's a proximity to people to talk to do your inner work. And also, it's kind of like maybe they aren't agriculture informed or rural living informed. And so they may not understand all the ins and outs of agriculture, the rural lifestyle, what makes it different than being close to town. And so that also can make it feel hard to connect with someone. Because now they have is it BetterHelp? They have a couple of different ones where you can just do over the phone sessions and therapy and stuff. But still, whether or not you get someone that understands your lifestyle is a totally different story.
I'd imagine.
And so, I am not a therapist, but I can help people expedite their self-awareness, which is a pretty big step into inner work. That's the first step of good movement.
Yeah.
Whether you're talking about livestock or people.
Yeah. I moved cows this morning and kind of went out there because this is only the second time we've moved them since they've been home from stocks.
Yeah.
And I took a puppy or a younger dog in the buggy because I had to move salt, haul salt, move tubs, move a solar, move the cows.
The buggy is the side-by-side ATV.
Oh, yeah. UTV, right?
UTV. It's not like a buggy, like a horse-drawn buggy.
Yeah, but it's not a four-wheeler. But, I mean, I went out there with the idea that if it takes all day, that's fine. But these girls have been...
They've been away from us
for the last 3 months, and they are fine with a horse, but they are dang sure aware of the buggy. So I thought, well, if I can help give some of them the confidence to be around it and not lose their composure, that would be a good thing. And I went in the gate, and there were cows right inside the gate. It's a section pasture, maybe a little bigger, section and a half, with a great big ugly hill in the middle of it. And I sent the dogs up the main trail with cows right at the gate. And I went the other direction and didn't know what was going to happen, but I didn't care either because there was a lot of cows at the tank. Picked up the solar, picked up the tubs. Cows started to walk off. And about that time, the dogs had stuff coming down the hill where they were supposed to be. And it was simple. So if you don't believe in good movement, the first time you see it, it's pretty emotional. I mean,
the takeaway here is you and your energy and your attitude going in, and your awareness that if you had been in a toot and in a hurry and unaware of what you were conveying to the cattle, it would have gone completely different.
Oh, 100%. Been the worst freaking day ever.
And we've had days where we've loaded up the horses and headed out and got to the pasture, and neither one of us, we were aware of it. Neither one of us were in the right frame of mind to even try it that day. So we turn around and go back and try it the next day.
Yeah, and there's a lot of variables. I mean, there's a lot of flexibility in how we do things and how we manage this place. You know, it's not a hard and fast, oh, there's a crew coming. You know, branding day and preg day are about the only days that we have to. It doesn't matter what happens. And even then, 10 years ago, I stressed for a month. I stressed all year about branding day.
Do you remember our first year here?
It was horrendous.
Calving mature cows the same way we would calve first calf heifers.
It was
because you were so nervous. And I would say I was nervous too, but I didn't know what the crap was going on because I was a feedlot girl at that point.
Well, I never kept that many cows alone. And then once you get through it a couple times, it's like, holy crap, we can do all this. And there's only two of us or one of us. And honestly, it goes better if there's one of us. It's incredible what you can get done, but you got to have the mindset.
You got to be aware. You got to be self-aware.
Right.
And then the next step is being socially aware, which in the case of cattle is just being able to read what they're telling you with their body language or how they're acting or whatever. With humans, social awareness, we can read people's body language, what's on their face, sense their tone, all those things, which sometimes you can be really socially aware and not at all self-aware, or vice versa.
Yeah. There's people that I know that need more help than others and will never, ever participate in this.
Yeah. They're very socially aware, not very self-aware.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like you kind of, your heart breaks for them a little bit, especially mine, because I know what it could do to change their life. And it hurts to watch, but you don't get to make their decisions.
That's
so
right.
Just keep going.
It's not yours to do. Your work is yours to do. Other people's work is not yours to do.
Right.
And you can drive yourself crazy trying to do someone else's work.
And I have. And it's the shits. The drizzling kind. It's not good.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, you know what it's
You
like.
get mad at me for making poop jokes on the podcast, and now you're doing it.
Yeah, but I didn't drop the word. I just said it's the shits. You said poop.
What's worse, poop or drizzling shits?
I said the drizzling kind. I didn't say shit. Yeah, I didn't reference the shit the second time. Makes it different.
If you're listening to this, like drop me a DM on Instagram or something.
See, now you're back to it.
I said a DM, not a deuce.
Yeah, my bad.
Anyway.
My vocabulary isn't big.
Anyway, drop me a DM on Instagram and vote. Which is worse, poop or drizzling shits?
I said shits. Then I said the drizzling kind. I didn't reference the shits in the second comment. Makes it better. See, you just took yourself there. Like your mind went there. That's why it's funny.
Okay. Back to the moral of this story is that when you ask, how do I get other people to do this work? My answer is going to be do your own work.
I'd agree with that.
It's the best way. It's the only way. And when you're doing your own work, like we were just talking about, trying to do other people's work will drive you crazy. When you're focused on doing your own work and you're healing your own self, you won't feel the need to do other people's work for them.
Right.
You might recognize that they need to do it, but you won't feel compelled to try and do it for them.
Agreed.
Any final thoughts?
I have no final thoughts.
Okay, well, with that, until next time, draw good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.